Hey, dear ones, today is August the 12th on Read Through the Word, and I'm so glad you are joining me today. We are going to be in Jeremiah chapter 29, and it gets really serious here with the exiles, or God's people. He's getting very specific with them. He gives them very specific instructions on what to do when they are exiled, when they are deported from their homeland to another homeland. And they are going to be there for a while. Scripture says, our key scripture that I chose for today, you will be in Babylon for 70 years. And as I was sitting here thinking about this lesson and getting ready for the camera to come on, I happened to I was like, wow, I am so thankful that I've not been in exile in a Babylon for 70 years. But you know what? Maybe not 70 years, maybe not even 7, but there have been times when there have been lengthy periods, lengthy seasons of exile that I've been in, that I've experienced. And we've all probably experienced seasons apart from God. And that's what I'm defining as an exile, is a season apart from God. It doesn't mean that God is not, doesn't have his eye on us. Because clearly, Scripture clearly says throughout all the prophecies that he's watching. He is going to make sure that they're treated fairly and rightly. And if they're not, he's going to come back. And those that have mistreated his people are going to pay for it. But we are never out of his watchful eye. We may be separated from his presence because of our sin or because of our situation. But we're never out of his watchful eye. And we're only a cry out away. As you've seen evidence in Scripture, his people were in sin. They cried out. He rescued them. They repeated that whole cycle. We're only a cry away. We're only an outcry away, and it's help me, Lord. That's really it. But there are seasons and there are times when we are in a place of exile. Maybe God has given us warnings, like he gave constant years and years of warnings to his people. Perhaps there's financial warnings that we are experiencing some difficulties in our finances, and he's warning us. Now, not every financial difficulty is a warning from God, but what I'm saying, if there's a shakeup in your systems and the way that you live and the way that you do things, then ask God, are you warning me about something? And pursue him. And hopefully he'll say, no, this is just the way it is right now. Or if he is warning you, he will tell you. He'll let you know. He'll convict you in your spirit of something that is sin in your life. Perhaps, there's a warning of some relationship shakeup, some things that are going on that, you need to walk away from that relationship, or you need to distance yourself from that, and you're not listening. And so he will bring some financial or some relationship difficulties to try to warn you. I know that one of the things that I know for sure that that the Lord works with my son is finances. He yanks his chain really hard when it comes to finances. And when Griffin's out of line or is, from my mom perspective, and I try to counsel. It's hard to parent adult children, right? But I'll say to him, there's a pattern here. Ask God what the pattern is. So if you feel like you're in a place of exile, maybe, and you're experiencing some things, see if you can trace a pattern. and see if you can trace God's finger on the pattern and seek Him. Because the reality is sometimes our exile is discipline. It's discipline because of poor decisions that we've made. We have disobeyed. Perhaps we are dedicated to another god, like the people of Israel. So it's a possibility that our season of exile is because of discipline. But it's also a possibility, or that possibility also extends, is that we might be there because of someone else's poor decisions, because of someone else's dedication to another god. So here's the thing, is what we have to do is when we're in that place of exile, we need to sit with God. We need to be still and listen to God, but we also need to be productive. We need to continue our service to God. We need to continue our quiet times with God. We need to continue our worship of God. I mean, if you'll read here, He doesn't say, hey, y'all just sit and hang out till I come and get you. He says very clearly, build homes, plan to stay, plant gardens, eat the fruit they produce, marry and have children, find spouses for them. So you can have many grandchildren. He says multiply, don't dwindle away. So in other words, don't sit in your place of exile like this, waiting for God just to move you out of there. Make yourself at home. Don't have an attitude towards God, because chances are the attitude is what got you there in the first place. Sorry, but that's how it has been with me. Is that my attitude gets a little cockeyed and a little sideways, and God like brings me to this little timeout area over here. But make the best of the exile, the best as possible. Make the best of it. Because here's the thing. No matter how we got there, whether it's God's response to us because of our wrongful dedication and He's disciplining us, or because someone else that we're in relationship with or in community with has made a huge mistake and we got caught up in it. So regardless of how we got to the place of exile, make the best of it. Seek God, be with God, obey God, do what He says to do. Because here's the thing, when you leave that place, Scripture tells them very clearly here, when you leave that place, He says, I've got a plan for you. It's a good plan. When you seek me, you will find me. All of those familiar verses. He's speaking to those people, those exiles. He said, when you come out, I've got a plan for you. So hang on there. And God has a plan for us. That verse 29:11 is not written to us. It is written to the people that are exiled there. But that same God has a good plan for us. Ephesians 2:10 tells us that. He who began a good work in you is faithful to complete it. You are God's masterpiece, Scripture tells us. He has a plan for us. So this verse, while it's written to these people, this same God has a great plan for us, according to Scripture as well. So when we come out of that place, of exile, here's what we can count on. We can count on learning new things about God that we would not have known otherwise. We will experience God in the exile, and we will know Him in a way that we would never have known Him had we not been exiled. Okay, so let me repeat that. When we leave, when we go back, when we are back in that right relationship with God, we will know Him better than we did before. We will know Him better than we would have had we never been in exile. I know that to be true 100%. Same thing with trials and tribulations that we're going through. Experiences that take us to the valley, to the lowest parts of where we live. The God of the valley, we get to know Him in a way that when we get to that mountaintop, when we get out of that valley, back up that mountain, and we've got those hinds feet in high places, we will know him. We know him like we would have never known him had we just gone from mountaintop to mountaintop. Secondly, we're going to leave spiritually stronger than when we arrived. Because in an exile and a season of separation from God, we are depending on him like never before. And then thirdly, we're going to long for God like never before. Scripture goes on to say, I'm going to tell you things that you've never known, secrets that you've never known. He says, I will be your God and you will be my people. He says, I'm going to give you a new heart. I'm going to write upon your heart. There's so many things he tells them. You are going to long for me, in other words. And when you leave that place, you are going to be so hungry that you are not going to be able to get enough of him. Kind of like read through the Word. Honestly, seriously. When you read through the Word one time, and you have really, really given it your, high school try. I mean, and I don't mean not missing any days. Perfection. We're not about perfection. We're about persistence. But you really, really worked hard on the things that God needed you to work on. You will be closer to God in December than you were in January. And you will have a longing for him like you've never had before. So, here's the thing. Don't waste any time with God in that exile, in that time of separation. Realize it, recognize it, own it. I'm here. What do you want to teach me? I'm here. What do you want to unteach me? I know that's not a right word, but what do you want to unteach me? I did something to get here, and I don't want to do it again. So help me unteach myself these bad habits or these things that got me to this place. Because I don't want to stay here, and I certainly don't want to come back. We'll see you tomorrow on Read Through the Word.